Hi, I'm Susan Crowell with My Autism Ally, and this is my friend,
Amanda Ramsey.
also from My Autism Ally, and we are here with Partners in Autism to discuss the new Indiana Medicaid requirements and rumored changes. So we're going to get the answers to your most pressing questions by breaking down the impact this will have on our community and ABA. Courtney, we're going to start with you.
Hi, Susan. We are happy to be here today to help you all inform the community on these changes. And we have Kelly here as well.
Hi, I'm the Director of Behavior Analysis.
Okay, so we're going to dive in on some questions. So can you give us a broad overview of the new requirements of proposed changes?
The changes we will be discussing today impact everyone from companies to staff to clients and the community as a whole. On November 29th, Medicaid decision makers released a bulletin announcing ABA documentation requirements and updates to provider enrollment requirements. This bulletin did not get sent to subscribers like every other IHCP bulletin does. They released it on their website, leaving many providers in the dark unless they went looking for the bulletin that month. On December 4th, Indiana Medicaid held a video session which further announced the following requirements. They're redefining ABA therapy into two categories: comprehensive and focused services. They reestablished member eligibility requirements. The new requirements for treatment plans, documentation, and 2 new assessments. They released contradicting discharge criteria, so if a child is making too much or too little progress in ABA therapy, they could be denied services through Medicaid. ABA is now considered a high-risk specialty service. All providers have to update their provider type. All RBTs and individuals with controlling interest within the company must now hold their own MPI number, which is a National Provider Identification Number, and get fingerprinted background checks run upon hire. Last but not least, Medicaid decision makers in a budget committee meeting on December 17th proposed cutting services for our children to only 30 hours per week and only allowing 3 years total of ABA therapy services despite medical recommendations and child needs.
So let's talk a little bit about the advocacy efforts that are being made to oppose the cuts. Obviously, us doing this video and, we're going to chunk this up into smaller videos, so be sure to check our spaces and look for the whole discussion. But one of the things that I'm very passionate about is making sure that families have easy ways to get their voices heard, and that it's less about a form letter and more about your unique autism story that you need to share with legislators. Hey, I'm not going to be able to work anymore if my kid doesn't have access to ABA because I can't work a full-time job and my kid and they're not even going to be in school all year round. So if the solution for that child that's 8 is public education, that is going to bring a lot of change and turmoil into families' lives. And so I think it's really important, if you're a caregiver listening to this, maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you're an aunt or an uncle, but it needs to be all hands on deck talking to legislators going, this is a huge problem for autism families. And we want to make sure that, we will be giving you links, easy ways for you to be able to contact your legislator, but we need you to make your voice heard.
Yes, flood their mailboxes, their contact forms, flood with everything because it's going to show how big of a deal this is.
Yes.
For us, on our website, under our resources tab, there is a whole section about the Indiana Medicaid and ABA therapy, and let's band together, let's save it, let's do everything that we can. I think everybody, you guys included, we're trying to make things as easy as possible to really flood these legislators' mailboxes.
Exactly. And then I also want to caution everybody that's listening that it's not just Indiana Medicaid. Indiana Medicaid is proposing these cuts, but private insurance, your employer insurance oftentimes takes their guidance from the types of things they see legislators and Medicaid doing. So you may be sitting there and go, wow, shoo, my employer pays for ABA. I won't be affected. And I'm going to sit here and go, I wouldn't be so quick to necessarily assume that, because we have seen other instances. Can you speak about like what happened last year and how those cuts like kind of rolled through the private insurance as well?
Yeah, so as some families may already know, last year Medicaid cut the ABA therapy reimbursement rates by 40%, which caused a mass changes across the board. Clinics shut down, they reduced support staff, some clinics reduced paid lunches, had to get, kick out kids with Medicaid because of those 40% rates, which again, we now found out that those then impacted private insurance companies. So we are seeing that the cuts and the changes that Medicaid is making, these private insurance companies are saying, can we do that too? Can we save some money? Can we cut some corners here? And they're doing it as well because they have the right to do so. And why wouldn't they? Medicaid got away with it, so why shouldn't they?
Exactly.
I think it's also really important to note that Indiana is and has always been a leading provider in ABA. So other states are looking at us too. If we don't react, if we don't respond to this, then other states might look at this and think, oh, we can do this too. So it could become more of a nationwide issue rather than just the state of Indiana.
Exactly. There will be opportunities for public comments, maybe to attend hearings. We're going to be like keeping in touch with our families through our newsletter, through our social media. I know every ABA center is going to be as well. So my advice to families that are listening is to just be paying attention and looking for where you can lend your voice and lend your support, because it's important to support our kids, support our families, and make sure that our voices are heard, respectfully heard. So thank you for listening. Like I said earlier, we're going to be breaking this down into smaller chunks, and that way it will be more accessible for you. So be watching, click back on our videos and check out the whole series. Thanks a lot.